Okay, welcome back, and we're going to start all over with the second part of our introductory video. Okay, here we are at the home page of MyUM. First thing we're going to do, I've already logged in. You have to, obviously, if you're here. And you've already done this. You went to My Courses and selected your course that you were going to work on. And that brings you to the main page of our website. Now the first thing I'm going to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I see a checklist right here, a course checklist. Now this checklist is basically everything we're going to need that has anything to do with our course and succeeding in our course. If I click right up here, that opens up this, and I can click on this printer and print a hard copy of this out. So if you would like, you can take a moment, pause the video, and print out a hard copy for yourself, because I've already done it, and I'm going to be following through with this checklist as we go through this introductory video. So go ahead if you want to, pause the video and print you a copy, and then come right on back. Alright, now I've got my printout in my hand. I'm going to scroll back up here to the top. I'm looking at the printout, and it says main page. That's the first little button up there. And so I guess we're going to follow from top to bottom, which you should do. And it says watch the developer's tour video. Well, if you look at our main page, it's got a beautiful image of Mobile Bay as taken from the Eastern Shore. And that's just decorative. Right below that is the developer's video. It just doesn't happen to be yours. This is an old one. I'm working on yours right this minute. That's what we're doing. So you will be seeing this video out there when we get to that, when you get to this stage of the game. All right, looking at the sheet again, it says welcome to Microcomputer Applications, and there it is. Scroll on down the page. There's welcome to Microcomputer Applications, and it tells you a lot of good information that you might need in order to successfully complete this course. I see on here that there's a link that says Academic Integrity Agreement. That happens to be an agreement that the School of Business at the University of Mobile and the Adult Program Department would like for you to complete. You can either click that link and it'll take you right straight to it, or you can come back up here, and on the left hand side of your page I see a button in the left panel that says coursework, and I can click on that coursework button and it will take me out to the coursework section of our website. And if I scroll on down to the bottom of this thing, and I'm seeing on my screen everything that we're going to do for the entire semester. You probably are not. But down at the bottom I see the Academic Integrity Agreement, and you can actually select it from here to complete that, or you can use that link on that previous page. I'm going to scroll back up the top, and my goodness, look at all the work we've got ahead of us. If you look up here at the top, I see it says you are here, e-learning computer systems, and it says I'm in the coursework page. This is called breadcrumbs, like Hansel and Gretel used, and basically I can go back to where I was by just backing up right there. So I clicked on that, and that's going to take me back to that main page. See, main page, and there you go. All right, now looking at my page again, I'll go back to where we left off. There's that Academic Integrity Agreement. And I look, and it says right below there, course announcements. So here's some more information in that welcome to Microcomputer Applications. Here's course announcements. And as you can see, at this point in time, there are none, because actually the course hasn't started. Your facilitator or your professor may put some posts out there for you, and so you need to get into the habit, by the way, of checking that on a pretty regular basis to see if there's any information that the professor wants to put out there for you. If I'm the professor or the facilitator in the case of online courses, I will probably be communicating with you via email, and we use the University of Mobile's official email system, and so you need to make sure you check that email on a regular basis. I would suggest you do it at least once a day. And that's basically what I'm going to be doing, at least once a day. But so I don't use that many announcements as such. All right, now I'm looking back at my sheet of paper here, and it says the main page left panel. Well, there's some more information. This is all part of this, and there's a general discussion forum right there. There's a few more things that aren't on this checklist simply because they're optional for your facilitator or your professor. The professor may choose to give you some discussion questions or some questions that you would form a little group to have a forum about, and you would talk about it, and that's where those things would be posted if he or she chooses to do that. In this course, I just don't feel like I have the time to do it when I'm the professor, so I don't do much of that. There's enough work on this website to keep you occupied, I am sure. All right, now if I go down back into my piece of paper here, it says looking at the main page left panel. I'm scrolling back up. Here's the left panel, and in my checklist it has the first item, introduction, read carefully. Well, there it is. So I'll click on introduction, and I see that it's got some information about the academic integrity agreement. It has information about technical requirements, and you're all in college. I assume you can read. I'm not going to be reading this stuff to you for this tour. It's there. I'm just showing you where it is. Looking back at our sheet, I see that the next item is technical help. Well, there it is, technical help. And I click on that, and I see that that's how I can contact my IT lab, and I can contact university's IT people if I'm having a problem, or if you're having a problem with your web browser or your access to the site. There's how you would go about getting information from them. All right, looking back at our sheet again, next item it lists is the syllabus. Well, there it is, sure is. So I click on the syllabus, and there you go. There is the syllabus, and as you can see, it is right here for you to read anytime you want to, or if you prefer, you can go up here and print out a copy for yourself. And once again, I'm not going to read this to you, but that tells you how your grades are calculated and what your requirements are. It's kind of a contract for you, don't you think? What you're going to have to do in order to successfully complete this course. I see here the way the assessment's calculated. Learning outcomes 1 and 4 count 15% of your grade. Well, I'll tell you what learning outcomes 1 is. That's that hardware and software module of our system, of our course. And then learning outcomes 2 and 4 it's out 15% of your grade, and that is the module 2 of our course on the evolution of the computer. So that's 15% of your grade. And then down below there, learning outcomes 3 and 4 is 70% of your grade. 70%. Because those are modules 3 through 6 of our course. And that's the hands-on stuff that we're going to be doing in Microsoft Office. And so you can see that they are weighted very heavily as part of your grade. Okay, more information down there, and you can feel free to check that all you want to. Looking back at my sheet again, it says the next item is course information. So I'll click over here. There it is, course information. And I see my pretty face over there at the top because, as it happens, I'm the facilitator or professor for this course, online course. The other person there is Dr. Pam Buchanan. She is the overseer of the online program here at the University of Mobile. Wonderful lady, excellent professor. And I've asked her to join me on this web page so that she can evaluate what I'm doing and make recommendations to me about how I might make it a little bit better for you. That's what we want to do. Make it more interesting, make it easier for you to follow, and Mrs. Buchanan or Dr. Buchanan is an expert at that. Okay, looking back at my sheet, I see the next item says Student Support Center. So I look over here on the left-hand side, and lo and behold, there's a lot of stuff between course information and Student Support Center. I see the class roster. All right, I'll click on that, and that's where all your classmates are. See them? In my case, in this class. And that's how you could get in touch with everybody. Send them an email that said, you can say, I don't understand a word that old man's saying. Can you explain it to me? They might be able to do that. Down below there, I see tutor.com, which is an online tutoring service that the University of Mobile funds for you. So if you have a problem doing one of your assignments or a paper, somebody there will give you a hand if the facilitator is not able to do that. Down below there's that coursework page that you and I have already been to that's got all of the assignments we're going to do for the semester. Final exam, don't worry about that. That is primarily for our traditional classes. And let me address this issue of the online classes and the traditional classes. At the University of Mobile, both of these courses carry the same weight of evaluation and value. And there are differences. For example, in the case of the online courses, everything is self-contained on this website, including the lectures that has been created for you, the assignments, everything. In the case of the traditional classes, the fact of the matter is that when I teach a traditional class, use this very same website and basically follow this very same plan. And your professor may choose to allow you, if you're in a traditional course, to actually do the online lectures and go through it just like all the rest of us, and then be there in the classroom to provide you with backup and support. Or your professor may choose to do it an entirely different way. All these options are available to the professor. All right, let's see. There's the final exam down there. Don't worry about that. That's something that's part of the show up eventually. There's a grade book. Well, you haven't got any grades at this point, but if you want to see what it is, don't trust it because you don't know how often it's updated. Attendance policy, well, obviously you don't attend since this is an online class, but if you are in a traditional class, that's where the professor goes to take roll. And then we're back to our main page. All right, before I start on that actual Student Support Center page, I think we need to take a break because this video is starting to get a little bit long. I'm afraid my UM's going to time out on you. So let's just click back on our breadcrumbs and go back to the main page, and let's exit right there. What do you say? So that will finish this second video, and you go ahead and take a break if you want to and come back and see the next one.